One question I definitely want to save for the end. It's a question that I ask a lot of people, not just here, obviously, since this is the second one, so I don't have an always. I will after this, but...
Oh, did you ask Tim?
I did. I screwed it up.
Okay, so you always ask that.
That's right. I screwed it up, and he fixed it for me because I hadn't asked it in so long because of COVID. I hadn't talked to really anyone.
Yeah, small sample size, but yeah.
Yes, 100%. Exactly. But something before I get to that, I wanted to ask you, I noticed like on Facebook, and you stay pretty chill on politics, which is good. I think that's smart. I don't. But like, how do you do that? How do you? Because you seem like a passionate person. So
well, fortunately, my wife is a lot smarter than me when she goes, no, don't do that. No.
You check with your wife then. Okay.
Well, she'll ride herd on me as far as keeping me. I won't post. I might respond on a friend's page when they post some stupid shit. I'll just. And I always try to be, I would never say anything to anyone online that I wouldn't say to their face. So I always try to be respectful. And again, that sense of decorum that's lost. I always say you can disagree without being disagreeable. I've got plenty of friends on both sides of the aisle. I'm a musician. I'm, hard left leaning, but again, I'm also pragmatic. Do I think defund the police is the stupidest slogan ever?
Agreed.
Yes, I do.
The slogan sucks.
It's like if you have to explain your bumper sticker with 4 sentences, it's a crappy bumper sticker.
You're so right. I've said this so much.
I know I don't.
Because you have to end with, well, it's not defund the police.
Please. But that's what it says. It's like, say what you will about the Republicans. They go for the throat, and and it's not like,
You're so right.
But,
oh my God.
But who makes the best commercials? The Lincoln Project. All Republicans.
Yeah. I'm with you.
They're the guys who are going out there going for the throat because they know how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old joke about, Democrats. What's it? Republicans fall in line. Democrats fall in love. We have these like passionate about these things, but those guys, it's like we, they don't care. It's like, okay, we've chosen a direction.
Yeah.
We're sticking to it.
Yeah.
But there's a cliff there. We don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They unify. They unify really well.
Yeah. And that's why, Democrats are so damn good at losing elections.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't post anything political because I've got friends on both sides, and that's my page isn't for political. Every once in a while, somebody will try to interject something, and I'll quickly get rid of it because again, that's not the platform, and
mm-hmm.
and we're non-denominational when it comes to politics on there, but well, so we went through a debacle about a year ago with one of our members in the band, and people were accusing me of being, well, you play with that person, so you must be. No, I just choose not to be so open about, imposing my particular beliefs on anyone. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. I'm smart enough to know I'm not smart enough. One of the things I respect about, on the Democratic side is, well, people will, when Biden does something stupid, we'll say, yeah, that was dumb. What happened if you couldn't do that last year? You couldn't do that during the Trump era. You couldn't. There was no room for criticism. There was no wiggle room whatsoever for just reality sometimes. And
what do you think causes that?
Well, it's from the top down. I mean, there was no tolerance for any kind of, there was, from Trump, you deviate the slightest bit. If you're not genuflecting just enough, then you'd get that, then you get a mean tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, people joke about, well, I don't want to get a mean tweet, but they live in fear of that.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine, you can't govern a nation living in fear of one unhinged child's mean tweet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a scary notion when we get to the point where, that we can't question. I know people say that, the government, anybody that gets in the government saying that, government's all bad is like, well, you shouldn't get in it then. If you're against government or the people that are supporting the truckers, the whole truckers thing is like, if you're supporting this big trucker blockade, then you've lost the right to complain about supply chain. You can't complain about supply chain and encourage people to block the supply chain.
Right. Be consistent.
Again, and again, it also gets down to, and again, I don't mean to pontificate about this, but it also gets down to the memory span of the average American is, last week he said this, but now he's saying this.
You need to start streaming, man.
Watch some of those mashups of Fox News where it's like, they're talking about the blockade versus the, when the immigrants were coming in the border in the South. Some of them aren't vaccinated. We should be vaccinating them right at the border. It's like, now all of a sudden they just show the truckers like, no, they're against vaccinations. We should just, choose a team. Or when Trump was meeting with Kim Jong-un, it was like, then they'd play the tape back to, Obama thinks he could just go there with the strength of his personality and meet with Kim Jong-un with no preconditions. Mm-hmm. What?
Yep.
This whole thing. And again, the hypocrisy, when you put those things back to back, you go, I wonder if they're not being maybe they're ingenuous. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's so again, both sides too that do the same thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I understand the filter, and I can filter whatever network I'm watching. I mean, I miss Brian Williams, and that was my late night jam. Mm-hmm. I think if Jon Stewart had stayed on the air, I don't think Trump would have been elected because somebody could have sort of put him in his place and going, no, you're kidding me, right? He just said that, and I always think back to that there's got to be that Jack Welch moment. Not Jack Welch. He was General Electric. Joseph Welch during the McCarthy era when he finally said, "At long last, sir, have you no sense of decency?" That I was waiting for that moment through the whole Trump administration where, okay, this has got to be a bridge too far. That can't be okay. No, there was never that. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you no sense of decency? There was never that moment.
No,
there was no bridge too far where you could, you could make fun of anybody. You could, again, I don't understand that standard. The cancel culture. Who's the first people complain about cancel culture? The people on the right. Oh, well, it's good news for Colin Kaepernick. We don't want that cancel culture coming our way.
You're so correct. It's my biggest pet peeve about all of it is everybody's too goddamn mean on social media, and it makes people entrench themselves because it's hard to listen to someone that's calling you an idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You have to again, never say anything to anyone that you wouldn't say to their face. I mean, that's, and I know there are plenty of things on the left that annoy me. Again, not being pragmatic about things, understanding that you have to compromise too. It's not just the people on the right that have to compromise. We have to, as a progressive, you still have to make concessions because guess what? There's, 47% of the country feels the exact opposite. So if you can meet somewhere in the middle, that's really what it's all about. I mean, granted, the other side tends not to, there's this scorched earth approach to everything. Everything, anytime you give in, it's like, oh, there's weakness there. I sense a weakness. No, we can't. No. So. Yeah.
It's too bad because anytime you make any kind of insult to Donald Trump, you lose anyone that's on most of the people on the right because they've been so primed to think you're being hostile to them. Not.
Yeah. No, that's, and again, it just boggles my mind that such a flawed human has garnered that much support. It's to me, it's like, what's it? There was I remember seeing again so many memes. He's like the poor person's idea of a rich person, a stupid person's idea of a smart guy, and all these other things. Like, I guess. I would put that on my page, but I kind of
a cheeky little but that's all I'm going to.
Yeah. And so again, true. It's you can't. It's a head scratcher.
Well, I mean, I get upset about Biden. I was upset Biden before he was elected. I already knew what was going to happen. I mean, he was going to give us a bunch of money, and then he was going to stop everything. And but if somebody said Biden sucks, I'm not going to go, hey, how dare you? I'm like, yeah, he kind of blows right now. I agree.
Well, here's the thing. When people talk about being senile and all this other stuff, you listen to him talk. I'm thinking, again, you kind of got to temper that with the fact the guy the guy has a serious speech impediment.
Yeah.
So sometimes, as you know, one of those tools is you switch words out because you're going to have trouble saying a word. So, I mean, I can understand that. How do you explain, again, 4 years of Trump? If you want to talk about stupid crap coming out of somebody's mouth.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's hard to kind of parse that if you're again, and we sort of went off on a political tangent, but yeah, that's, I guess people can hate me for my political beliefs, but I wouldn't impose them on anyone. These are just,
Well, I like having a conversation like this. I like talking face to face with people on the right because you have good conversations because you can see their face, you can emote back and forth, you have empathy, and you like each other and all that stuff. But as soon as you get on Facebook, everybody's just text and everything's taken negatively.
Yeah.
And I'll say, look, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, this is just my opinion. Calm down. And they're like, you told me to calm down.
Yeah, I'll calm down in all caps.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything mean to you back. I know you just called me those 5 names, but I won't say it back. I'm just having a conversation. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. All right. I guess this is not working.
Well, they're typing so hard it's coming out in boldface. What? Not only caps with boldface.